All right. We're going to have a big one for the Magic Kingdom, talking about divination, soothsayers and sorcerers, these kinds of things in regards to this series. Now, divination is literally, trying to foretell, to foresee, to predict, to prophesy, is an attempt to gain insight into a question or situation by way of an occultic or hidden standardized process or ritual. So you're trying to tell the future or see something that is coming or happening, and you're using this by looking at hidden things, and there's usually some sort of exact process or ritual that you must do. And every culture in the world has essentially had this in some way, shape, or form. It's taken its shape and form all over the world in many different ways, whether it comes to sticks, whether it comes to cards, whether it comes to going and talking to an oracle, whether it's forms of magic, whether it's rolling dice or rolling bones or cutting open animals. We're going to look into all of this, but how divination and diviners are essentially still here today. Whenever they're on TV and they're telling you to get ready for this, oh my gosh, inflation rates are going to do this. What should we do? What should we do? And then there's a guy there to tell you what you should do, You're essentially listening to diviners or fucking soothsayers. Fortune telling, We have fortune telling or reading your palm or looking at a crystal ball. This is all different forms of divination. As a matter of fact, there's different ways to do this. Aeromancy, looking at atmospheric air conditions, aka predicting the weather. Like when I say this is in our life, it's just taken a different form. I don't think people understand what I'm saying. Astrology, looking at the stars, that became astronomy. And where are we always trying to go? We're looking to the stars to go to the future. We're trying to build all these things because we're going to end up at the stars someday. All right, astromancy, by the stars. Augury, the flight of birds. Chiromancy is the shape of hands, and the palms are the lines in your palms. Palm reading is called chiromancy. Spiritual vision, crystal balls. Extispicy is reading the entrails of animals. Same thing with haruspics, reading the liver. The Bible mentions a lot of these. It tells people to stay away from all of these. And I mentioned in a previous video the concept of casting lots. We'll get there in a minute. But crystal balls nowadays is just a square, and it's called a television, and it's an LCD screen. It's a liquid crystal display, and you get visions telling you all about the world and what's coming and what's not. That's why I say that televisions are scrying mirrors. This is basically a form of clairvoyance. We'll get to clairvoyance later. The I Ching. The I Ching is something that has been used heavily throughout time and works its way in. So it's a form of divination, and it's supposed to give you answers into the future and about yourself. And then people take these ideas because it was divine to them through some sort of occultic force, and they apply it to our life. So I'm saying a lot of people have used the I Ching, and they've gotten ideas, and then they apply it to our life, and now we're living in a world based off of ideas from an I Ching, which is literally just from satanic, demonic entities and occultic nonsense. And we'll get to it in a bit. But this is heavy everywhere, Many people have written books using the I Ching, or, Philip K. Dick, he features it in his books. A lot of interesting stuff here. It's nothing new. It's however fucking old it is. Even on the flag of Korea, you'll see these kind of hexagrams. It's all throughout Asia. You'll see these above people's houses. And it consists of dropping sticks. As a matter of fact, if you ever play this game, Pick Up Sticks, it's literally based off of the I Ching. So they even get you to try and get used to these concepts when you're a kid. The crystal ball, now you have a magical 8-ball. There's Paul the octopus. This is something I just heard of. People go to this octopus to see what he does or how he does it in order to predict the outcome of a football game. Even reading charts for technical analysis, you're trying to predict the future, guys, which is why I always tell you, I don't know anything, I'm not right, I'm not wrong, I'm just trying to give you an idea. Never go off of what I say. I'm not any smarter or better than you. I'm not calling to an outside source. That's why I don't consider it divination in that sense. But when you start placing the charts to the stars and all of this, it's so crazy. Augury, the study of birds and how they move and watching them to come up with what's going to happen in the future. Oracles, We've mentioned oracles before. Haruspics, looking at the livers of animals. They would cut the livers out of animals and look at them, look for spots, all this kinds of stuff to try to predict the future of what to do in war, all these kinds of things. Okay, tarot cards are another huge one, and I think a lot of higher up people use tarot cards, and whatever happens to the cards happens in our world. Okay, that's how they make decisions. They literally leave this up to random chance. That's the whole thing with divination. You have something important to do. Okay, it's tricky, it's hard, it's difficult to make a decision. So rather than face blame or make decisions for yourself, what you'll do is you'll go to an outside source. Listen, whatever card I pull, that will be what will happen. But this is literally divination. So now when you go to this and you're like, whatever card I pull, that's what will happen. And it pulls like, a death card or something. Oh, well, I guess people are going to die now. Look, it's a good thing I didn't choose that. But that's the thing with divination. Something else did from behind what we can see from outside of our world. And I think they use tarot cards for a lot of things, and our world goes down these routes in this way, okay? Tarot cards and all this kinds of stuff. It's literally known as cartomancy, or using cards in order to see the future or predict things or say where things should go and in what way. Feng Shui is heavily based off a lot of this is known as geomancy. It's Chinese geomancy, trying to organize things in the world to allow powers to flow. This is all a form of divination, okay? Even like I say, it's so embedded in our worlds, you don't think it's magic. You just think it's a normal thing. Oh, this is just something I like to do with my house. No, it's literally based off of geomancy or some form of divination and occultic practices, and they want that inside your house. Same thing with tarot cards. Same thing with Ouija boards. Same thing with the I Ching. Okay. Now, interesting with the I Ching is, okay, you usually drop these sticks or flip coins. I can buy these kind of like these compass things. They sell them at the stores down here. This stuff is big where I am currently, and it's a way to bring peace and harmony to your life. Back in the day, they had casting lots. They would throw stones. It's mentioned in the Bible numerous times. They would also roll bones. They would have like knuckle bones, or like horse ankles, all this shit. Because it's multiple sided, it'll bounce around. It's a good way to randomize when you don't want to come up with decisions or have anyone blamed for a certain thing. You could just throw a random thing. And nowadays in computing, these are called random number generators. Okay, so we even based computing off of occultic ideas. Rolling dice is actually, occultic or a form of divination. Also down here, you'll see this a lot. They'll shake the sticks, and whichever stick falls out, it will have like a fortune on it, and it'll tell you what to do. Many countries have different things. They also, instead of bones or rune, you'll have like a stone with a rune on it, and you'll have to drop these stones or put these stones in a certain place up in Northern Europe. Drawing straws, you don't know what to do, so we're just going to draw straws. Leave it up to random chance. This is essentially what I'm trying to get into divination, how people use these random chance situations to eventually, I guess, how should I say, make decisions. And these random chance decision making create randomness and chaos because it's based off of randomness and chaos and based off of occultic divination. And we use these random number generators and all of this stuff. And even further than that, the I Ching is literally based off of those hexagrams, so 64 hexagrams. 64 hexagrams also is where, what's his name? Leibniz got the concepts and the ideas from the I Ching in order to build binary systems. Okay, he's known as like the modern day father of computer science. Okay, all of our computer science is based off of occultic divination systems and the I Ching that this guy was studying. He came up with binary. We built our binary systems, hexadecimal systems, all of this off of I Ching and all of these occultic thoughts and theories. And then we use these computers in order to run basically everything in our world. So everything in our world is purely through divination and occultic forces operating in the background based off of divination and all these crazy things. It sounds so nuts, but this is literally how we got binary code, was from the I Ching, okay? A divination, a book of divination. It's so strange, guys. And it permeates everything. And all of our computer systems are based off of these hexagrams, which were later turned into binary systems. And it even gets further because you can even tie the I Ching to DNA, okay? DNA and how to, the coding of our DNA is literally it's all the same system, okay? It's all just mystical divination, and it permeates our reality. All right.